Welcome back to the Try You channel, where we don't give a sourdough pussy what you had for lunch. My name's Ronald, which is long for Rob, and this is Neil, and this is our newest member, Ed. And we're going through his list. If you're a decent person, you've already watched his top 10 list, and you really enjoyed it, and you commented, and you came on and liked and subscribed. And if you're not a bad person, if you're not a good person, you probably locked yourself in the closet and farted and jerked yourself off all day. And there's our hand job. We get it out of the way quick. And we'll talk about, I'll let you get to your music. I was going to say just a couple things. I really like the list. Led Zeppelin, I've had Led Zeppelin 2 and Physical Graffiti in my top 10. I changed mine. I had to fit John Coltrane and Frank Zappa, and Led Zeppelin is out, but all their albums could be in my top 10. And when I got back into drumming, I got back into John Bonham, and he's my favorite drummer, but you have the Wu-Tang, 2 Wu-Tang albums, and RZA, the way his production, it influenced the way I wanted to play the drums almost as much as Bonham. Okay. So I would listen to his drum beats and then try to play them on a kit, and it really helped and improved. Just in my mind, I'm sure if anybody was listening, it was an improvement. But to me, it was great, and so I really got into RZA, and I like just so much shit that he does. Soundtracks, I like the Liquid Swords album. I love that. But I'll let you go on. I just found it interesting that that when I was getting into the drums, and you had 2 of the things that was really meaningful or helped me a lot in playing the drums. That and Crystal Meth and Bush Light. That's good for playing the drums.
Interestingly enough, Into the Wu-Tang, that's like the beginning of like my teenage years, right? So like that album had like a significant impact on me, like as a human being.
I was late to the party, so that I started listening in like '98.
Okay.
To that, I'll be real brief here. I didn't listen to much rap music because at my high school, it went like people thought they were gangsters, and we were in a suburban, almost country town, and it's like they're driving around in these suburbs, and I shouldn't have blamed it on the music because it had nothing to do with the music. It was the people. So I missed out on a lot of good music, being kind of just having this view of things that was wrong as you get older. And now I'm 25, and then you realize some stuff, and you realize there's no reason to not listen to a certain type of music.
That's going to take us since you're admitting that you missed at least 7 years of good hip hop music.
I'm trying to go back and get it. You had Tribe Called Quest?
Yes, exactly. We're going to go right now.
Yeah. And I need to get more into them. They Beats, Rhymes, and Life, I think was.
That's your introduction? That's not bad.
That's the one that I started to listen to and they had a big reason when I got back into hip hop and rap, because this is so good you can't deny it, right?
Right.
It's just good music.
I mean, they sample a lot of jazz. My introduction to A Tribe Called Quest was an album called The Low End Theory.
Yeah, that's like the most famous, right?
Yeah. They have an album before that called People Instinct to Travel, but I picked Midnight Marauders because Midnight Marauders was the first rap album that I brought with my own money.
Okay.
Right? And I remember when I went to go get the cassette, the guy behind the counter was like, "These are selling like hotcakes," and it was hilarious to me as a young kid because this was some middle-aged white dude saying this. You know what I mean? Like, these selling like hotcakes. I'm like, yo, how does he know? You know what I mean? Like, what's hot?
Yeah.
But I mean, he was right because that was one of their biggest albums. They sold a lot. I think they went gold for the first time.
I'll say one thing about him. It's Jack White was on their latest album.
Yes, he was. Yes.
I like that album a lot too. I need to get back into some more Tribe Called Quest.
I got lucky. One of my friends that played the drums that I was friends with in middle school, and then freshman year before he moved, he had a cassette collection that was bigger than anyone else I knew, and he was really into rap. And so when Wu-Tang, when all these first came out, he'd go to the store and get these on tape. So I got to listen to them,
Okay.
So that was cool for me to listen to a lot of good rap albums right when they came out.
And I gotta say, I got a lot of good rap albums on this list. Capital Punishment would be another one by Big Pun. Rest in peace, Big Pun. To me, in my opinion, this is my opinion alone, Capital Punishment is probably the best hip hop album to come out in that era.
What era is that?
That's like the late 90s, 2000s.
Okay.
Like around that era.
I'll have to check it out.
It's the most complete album. Big Pun gave you everything on that album. He gave you something for like the ladies, something for like every
Did he produce his
generation.
music?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a hand in it, but
Okay.
you know what I mean, like
Not like RZA, where he just
he
kind
didn't
of
make
does
it.
everything.
Speaking of RZA, we're gonna go back to Wu-Tang Forever, which is Wu-Tang's second album, which is, to me, in my opinion, the best sophomore hip hop album ever made, especially by a group that's hard to do.
I like it.
Outkast is probably the only other group to do that, and I don't have an Outkast album.
I
on
like
the
the
list.
beef. I like Paul's Boutique.
Oh, by the Beastie Boys, yeah.
From going from License Dale to Paul's Boutique, that change I really liked.
And I think one of the last hip hop albums on my list is Muddy Waters by Redman. That's
I'm gonna put that on my shelf.
yeah, that's like, to me, that was Redman's best album in that era. He did a couple albums after that. He's got one out now called Mudface, but
It was cool when all the Wu-Tang solo albums were
yeah,
coming out,
oh
you
my
know.
God,
RZA produced all of them.
yeah, and that's the thing about Wu-Tang. Like, Wu-Tang kind of like changed the whole entire game, because it was the first time you had a group and they were able to, from the start, individually market themselves and make themselves profitable from the jump. Whereas though, like, they started a bidding war for each member. Like, that's just
RZA's one of my favorite
I'm still pissed that,
musicians out there of all time. Maybe he's just so prolific and
Wu-Tang
like
and Rage played at Newport.
Right,
yeah.
7 minutes. Let's
That
let him
was
get
like
through his list.
I went to a Wu-Tang Rage show, and I feel so bad because, like, I didn't know who Rage, when this is like so long ago, this is probably like 20 years ago.
Right.
I didn't know who Rage Against the Machine really was. Right? I think I heard a couple songs.
Which one opened up, Wu-Tang or
No,
Rage?
Rage opened
Rage
up,
opened for
yeah.
Wu-Tang.
I saw Rage in Gangstar
See,
in Nashville. It was an experience. I won't get. Well, that's for another time because we're running short.
let's go left field with it, and I gotta go with Robert Palmer's "Sneaking Sally Through the Alley." Now, the reason why that album is like on my list is because it's some like really good funky R&B, like,
I've never heard it.
yeah,
I need to check that out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Not even R&B. It's like, I can't even describe Robert Palmer. I mean, if you don't know who Robert Palmer
Simply
is,
Irresistible?
exactly.
Okay.
The guy with all those like weird looking mannequin ladies in the back playing the instruments.
Yeah.
That's Robert Palmer.
If you want to go back and look that up on YouTube, it's a good video to give yourself a hand job to.
And we got another one.
Yeah, we got some hand jobs.
Not out of left field would be Led Zeppelin, and I do like the complete studio.
Yeah, you
album.
get them all that way. That's
Yeah.
I wouldn't allow myself to do that. I thought I was cheating, but it's a
Nah.
good way to get them all in.
Yeah, because like, here's the thing: like, how can I name one and not put another
It's
one?
hard,
on?
isn't it?
It's hard to
It's
do
hard,
that.
isn't it? I think Physical Graffiti would be the one I would add right now. That or Led Zeppelin 2, but all of them.
2
are
and
great.
3 are automatic for me. Like
3 is when you listen to 3, it's the best.
Yeah.
And I just listened to Houses of Holy, and that was the best.
See?
It's hard.
You gotta put
you did the right thing.
So Led Zeppelin got the whole catalog in there. Look, a lot of people don't know this about me. I like to listen to Tame Impala.
Me too.
Good.
There's a
band.
band I need to give more of a chance.
It's actually one person.
I don't dislike. Is it?
Yeah, it's Kevin Parker.
So that
But,
just goes to show what I know about Tame Impala.
No, but they are a band. It's like the Foo Fighters. People don't know this about the Foo Fighters. Before they became an actual, like, you know, band where you knew every member, it was literally just Dave Grohl.
Oh yeah, he did all. In the first
Yeah.
album, he played every instrument.
Every instrument.
The second album, he did almost all except there's like a 30-second drum clip that's not him.
I
The
didn't
second
know
one,
that.
my favorite. Yeah.
So that's kind of like Tame Impala. That's
Yeah,
what
he had a demo out called Pocket Watch. If you can find it, it's really cool.
It's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
And now, like, every label was like, "Oh, cool, man. Where's the band?" And he's like, "Nah, it's no band. It's just me."
Yeah.
Like, well, how are we going to tour? Like, but all right, Tame Impala. And then I got D'Angelo. I got both of his albums. I think he has 3, but I picked the latter 2. The first one wasn't all that to me. So Voodoo, that's when the game got changed as far as like R&B and soul R&B. Like, it was a throwback to like Marvin Gaye, Sly and the Family Stone. Like, you get a mixture of all of that in this one album, Voodoo. And then he turns around and he does it again on the Black Messiah. I mean, D'Angelo like dropped that like out of nowhere. We was all hurt because, you know, some of us didn't vote for Trump. And he just was like, hey, you guys feeling bad? Here's an album. And we played it. And man, he gave us Earth, Wind, and Fire. He gave us some Prince. I mean, you know, D'Angelo is D'Angelo, but you can tell, and he doesn't shortchange anybody by letting you know who his influences are. And he's able to do that through him. And that's dope. That's why I choose both of his albums.
I haven't listened to him much either. And I went through a soul period. It was a lot of old stuff because Bonham, they said, was influenced by their drumming. And I liked Booker T and the MGs, of course. And Stax. We just talked with a friend of ours, Bucky, who's been on the videos. He had the Dramatics in his list, and I never listened to them until that. So, I mean, this is a good indicator of how these lists work. You got 4 albums I'm going to check out.
Same here, and I just got into Bootsy Collins on the soul, listening to some soul and American roots, and then Earth, Wind, and Fire. Those are sampled in even like Snoop Dogg and.
Yeah. You go back into soul, and you'll find James Brown, the funky drummer. I found that drum beat actually. I'd sit there and try to play it. Never got it, but it's in like every '90s hip hop song out there. And it's just this little clip, you know, where he breaks down, and it's great.
So it was a sample, one of them Impeach the President by the Honey Drippers.
Honey Drippers, that's Robert Plant.
It's a drum break that everybody pretty much uses.
There is? I'll check that out.
Impeach the President.
Okay. All right, well, we went through a really great list, I'd have to say. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Sign up and fill out your top 10.
Sign out.
Please, it was a lot of fun. I had a ball, and just do what I did. Sign up, fill out your list, have fun.
Yep, we'll see you next time.